Good evening, everybody. Happy Thursday night. So I pre-filmed my mid-year freakout tag and Taylor Swift coded TBR videos the other day to be posted on Saturday afternoon. And today I just wanted to do some more general TBR updates for the month of May to talk about books I'm reading right now and books that I finished. So let's start with the books that I finished because I have a huge stack right here. The first book I want to talk about is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I love the way that Abby Jimenez writes her romantic leads. I mean, she does just as good of a job as Emily Henry with writing the banter. And this whole series, which is 3 books, the recent installment was just released last month, just for the summer. So the 3 books in this series are Part of Your World, Yours Truly, and Just for the Summer, which I was just saying just came out last month. The 3 male leads in these books are absolutely sweet and lovable and adorable. Their names are Daniel, Jacob, and Justin. Jacob is the most relatable character because he has anxiety disorder like I do, and his character arc focuses on how he copes with his anxiety, and that's what makes his character so relatable. And I love Daniel because he's a chef, and there's actually a recipe in the back of the book that we are going to try. So 4-star series. The next book is a 5-star read for me. It's Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. This is my 3rd book by these authors. By authors, I mean these 2 women are co-authors, Christina and Lauren. This book is 5 stars because the leading couple, Macy and Elliot, are so sweet. They meet as young children because their families are next-door neighbors in their lake house community during the summer. And they bond over books and words, and their dialogue is so sweet. So there's 2 opposing opposite timelines in this book. The then timeline is when they're younger, and the now timeline is in the present day when Elliot and Macy meet before Macy has her wedding, and she's also dealing with her mother passing away, her father passing away. And Elliot and her reconnect after like 12 years of not speaking to each other, or some distant amount of time. So I really hope Christina Lauren writes a new book with them in it, because I would eat it up just as much as I ate this one. Easily a 5-star book. The next book is a book that I'm reading for Pride Month that I'm going to be reviewing in my monthly wrap-up at the end of June. But just for a preview, if you guys would like to read it, this is a modern-day retelling of The Great Gatsby that focuses on Jordan and her relationship with Daisy. So I think I will tell more about this book in a future video, so stay tuned for my monthly wrap-up for May and June, because I will talk more about this book in that video when I review my Pride Month reads. The next book I wanted to talk about is Murder in Drury Lane, which is a mystery book that is set in Regency times. I'm on a Regency kick right now. I am reading also the first book in the Bridgerton series. And I have also been reading the Regency Vow series by Martha Waters, and I have also read To Con a Gentleman by Sarah Adams. So I'm really loving this time period. And I also read Never Met a Duke Like You by Amali Howard, which I gave a B+ to, and I talk about that more in my Swifty Coded TBR wrap-up that will be out on Saturday. So I devoured this book in about 2 days. I started it on Sunday and finished it I finished it today. So actually it took me like 3 or 4 days, but still. I was engaged in this plot the whole way through, and at every plot twist I was surprised because the person kept crossing off and re-adding suspects to her list as the time went on. And I don't want to spoil the ending in case you want to read it, so check this out. So this author is well loved, I suppose, in the romance genre. And this is my second book by her, Nora Roberts. The first book I read a couple of weeks ago. It was The Awakening, and I heard about The Awakening through These Lyrics and Lines video because they talked about it in their March wrap-up. So this book is a book that is set off the coast of Maine, actually, and it's about a girl who loses her dad and has to move into the mansion that overlooks the beach. And this is like a ghost story mystery wrapped in with a romance, so I like the mix of genres. But I just thought the plot for the romance took too long to develop, so I DNF'd this after chapter 27 because I just couldn't get into it. If you would like to recommend to me another book by her, I would appreciate a recommendation because I just haven't found my stride yet with her, and I really would like to give her another shot. The next book I read is a book I borrowed from my mother-in-law that I'm giving back to her tomorrow when I see her. So this book is a mystery, and I will read you what the plot is. One August afternoon on the shoreline of the Kamchatka Peninsula on the northeastern end of Russia, two girls, sisters, 8 and 11 go missing. In the ensuing weeks, then months, the police investigation turns up nothing. Echoes of the disappearance reverberate across a tightly woven community with the fear and loss most deeply among its women. Taking us through a year in Kamchatka, Disappearing Earth enters the astonishing emotional acuity of the world of a cast of richly drawn characters, all connected by the crime: a witness, a neighbor, a detective, a mother. We are transported to vistas of rugged beauty, densely wooded forests, open expanses of tundra, soaring volcanoes, and the glassy seas that border Japan and Alaska, and into a region as complex as its alluring, where social and ethnic tensions have long simmered, and where outsiders are often the first to be accused. Sorry, I'm quite tired. I'm going to be going to bed soon. Propulsive, engaging, told through a young writer's virtuosic feat of empathy and imagination. This powerful novel brings to a new understanding of the intricate bonds of family and community in a Russia unlike any that we have seen before. So, this book was very atmospheric, and that really helped set up the whole mystery and thriller plot. And this is another, like the mystery book that's set in London, this mystery had a lot of plot twists that really keep me guessing, and I don't want to spoil it in case you want to read it next. So let's get into current reads. Oh, let's hope that stack doesn't fall over. Okay, so the first book, of course, that I wanted to mention is Bridgerton, the first book in the Bridgerton series, The Duke and I, by Julia Quinn. So I watched a video on Jack Edwards' channel where basically me reading the first Bridgerton book so you don't have to. I decided to read it anyway just because I'm going to be watching the show with Kathleen starting at the end of August, and I just wanted to familiarize myself with the characters before I watch the show. So, I just started this book 1 hour ago, and I am on chapter 7. The chapters are pretty long, so I am already, 90 pages in, I think. So, I really like the character building. I love the setting of Regency London. And I like the disability rep in this because the Duke, Simon, has a stutter. So I think it's really good how I haven't really gotten into the meat of the disability representation, but I can't wait to see how his disability is represented and how people treat him because of it. So I am really liking this so far. The next book I am reading was recommended to me by Sarah without an H and Riley Marie, and it is called The Wicker King by Kay and Crumb. So this is a romance. This is a romance book between two characters named August and Jack, and I love the mental illness rep in this book, and as you can see by the colors of the pages, as the book goes forward, it descends into the deep, dark depths of Jack's mental illness, because he has, let me see, what does he have? He has hallucinations, and so I'm not sure what mental illness he has, but I think it's like depression, and he obviously has hallucinations of certain fantasy creatures. And even though the relationship between Jack and August is very codependent sometimes, they are a very sweet couple, and you can tell that they really care about each other. So right now, I am on page 218. So I am making my way through this book. It's been a very quick read, and the pacing has been really fast, which I really liked. On my historical fiction TBR, my current read is The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak. This is blurbed on the back by saying, deserves a place on the same shelf with The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank, a classic, USA Today. So this is set during the Holocaust and is about a girl who basically steals books from bookstores all across Germany, and basically it's about her adventures and how she survives the Holocaust. I am on page 173. And I'm really enjoying this so far. As somebody who has read The Diary of Anne Frank and also read another memoir by a Holocaust survivor, I'm really enjoying being re-immersed in the world of World War II again. The memoir that I mentioned a couple of minutes ago actually is a book that I have on the bookcase in the hallway. It's called Alicia My Story by Alicia Appelman-German, and it's been a very well-worn copy because I got it autographed when I was in the 7th grade back in 1998, and then 6 years later, when my sister was in 7th grade, she read the same exact book. So basically, it's been well worn through several generations, and I still have the copy. It's lasted this long. And Alicia Appleman German is actually probably dead by now, because when she came to speak to our class when I was in the 7th grade, I think she was probably like in her 70s or something like that. I don't really remember how old she was, but I would imagine that by now she's probably dead. Other books that I'm currently reading are The Creation of Eve, Happily Never After by Lynn Painter, Persuasion by Jane Austen, and The Air We Breathe, and I'm rereading Daisy Jones and the Six. So those are the 9 books on my TBR, and I am going to be starting reading my June TBR soon, which is mostly books that are carried over from the different categories of thematic focuses that I'm doing. So the thematic focuses I am focusing on for June are Pride Month, historical fiction, books with lake and beach vibes, and books that focus on creative people. Books in this last thematic focus include Daisy Jones and the Six, Book Lovers, The Lost Village of Book Lovers, Right on Cue, and a few other books. Oh, The Bookshop on the Corner, which I reviewed in my video on Saturday. And then Beach Read, of course, which I also reviewed in a video on Saturday. So, and then I will also be doing a cumulative review at the end of the month of June of a quarterly monthly wrap up of new releases. So this new releases quarterly review includes Happily Never After by Lynn Painter, Tom Selleck's memoir, You Never Know, The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren, A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston, A Rivalry of Thorns by Tishonia Odette, and The Reappearance of Rachel Price, which was not reviewed in my April blog because I was not finished with it by the time I made my video. And then I feel like there's the rule book, and I think that's it. Am I missing anything? I don't think so. I think that's it for my quarterly review blog for releases from March, April, May, and the beginning of June. And then in August, the new releases I will be reviewing will be Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood, The Rom-Commers by Catherine Center, Tangled Up in You, which is the next book in the Meant to Be series, which is modern day retellings of Disney princess books. The first 3 books in this series are If the Shoe Fits, which was a Cinderella modern day retelling, By the Book, which is a Beauty and the Beast, a modern day retelling, and Kiss the Girl, which is a Little Mermaid modern day retelling. And this 4th book by Christina Lauren focuses on Tangled, and I'm super excited to read this. And another book that is not a new release that was recommended to me by Riley Marie, which also focuses on Tangled, is The Story of Gothel, which is a villain origin story of Mother Gothel. So I will be reviewing that in the same video as the summer new releases, even though technically it's not a new release, but it's connected to the Disney book. And then the other new release I'm going to be reviewing in August will be The Lost Book, which is Meg Schaefer's new book. Meg Schaefer's debut novel, The Wishing Game, came out in March, and it was one of my favorite books. Basically, if you did not watch the video where I reviewed The Wishing Game, it is a modern day retelling of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, because so in this book you meet this teacher, oh shoot, what's her name? I can't even remember her name, and that's really bad. So you meet this girl who's a special education teacher in a kindergarten classroom, and she was basically neglected by her parents because her older sister had a chronic illness and was always in the hospital. So she basically relegated herself to her bedroom and was really obsessed with this book, the Clock Island series, which is kind of like the Magic Treehouse series. And the author of the Clock Island series comes out of retirement and basically says that he wants people to find his manuscript of the last book of the Clock Island series. So they have a bunch of people, including this teacher, Lucy. The character's name is Lucy. So Lucy gets invited to go to Clock Island to look for the manuscript, and she wants to really win this contest, because if she wins the contest, she will win enough money to adopt Christopher, who is her student, who is in the foster care system. And like, one thing I don't like about Lucy is how she basically is telling the foster parents for Christopher that they don't know how to be parents, and she basically thinks that she's above them when she's only like a special education teacher who doesn't really make a lot of money at her job. But I really love the relationship between Lucy and Christopher. It's really very sweet, aside from how rude she is to his parents. But I highly recommend The Wishing Game, and I'm really excited to read Meg Schaefer's new book that comes out in July. It's called The Lost Book, and from what I understand, based on a synopsis, it's a modern day retelling of the Chronicles of Narnia. So that was another childhood series that I really enjoyed when I was younger. Actually, I did enjoy it, but at the same time, I found it pretty frightening, because The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe kind of gave me nightmares when I was 11. But I am looking forward to rereading this series again, and I am looking forward to rereading The Lost Book and the other new releases I have talked about that I will be reviewing on June 29th and August 7th. Have a great weekend, and please stay tuned for my videos on Saturday, because that will be my quarterly wrap-up. So have a great night. Thanks for tuning in.